Second half is about to kick off here in Manjung. There you have it. It was a bit of a missed kick, I think.
Bit of a false start.
False start. There you go. Second half here at the MPM Stadium is underway as PJ City look to go on the offensive instantly. Aizol Rizwan finding Giancarlo on the left. He's got Bharat just ahead of him. Manages to find Bay. Was heavily involved in everything positive about PJ City in the first half.
The thing about Bay is he really doesn't have a fixed position. He's almost allowed to go wherever he sort of feels and wherever he sees the space developing. You see him popping up on the left-hand side quite often, and he's dropping off deep to pick up the ball. But as I mentioned towards the end of that first half, I'd like to see him get a little bit more of the ball in those attacking areas. Maybe allow, Afandi or Fadel Idris, Vinut or Bathar Kuma to do a little bit of that groundwork and to allow him to free himself up a little bit more to go forward.
Throw in for PJ City. Aizol Rizwan, quick one, finding Pedro Enrique. Ball goes out for another throw in. PJ City showing plenty of initiative in the first couple of minutes of the second half. You can sense that the momentum is with them after that late equalizer in the first half.
Yeah, momentum means a lot in football, and as you rightly say, that goal just before half-time would have given them a lift and just put a little bit of doubt maybe into PKNP's minds.
So cross from Aizol Rizwan, Giancarlo! Stunning bicycle kick attempt from Giancarlo.
Well, we're seeing a preview of this in the first half. Brought the ball down brilliantly on his chest and an acrobatic bicycle kick effort just wide of the upright. So unlucky, and what a goal that would have been.
Positive start from PJ City in the second half. They really want to win. They really want to get their first set of 3 points in the Malaysia Super League. And judging by that attempt, they've certainly got the quality to be able to get it.
I think Giancarlo's grown into this game as it's gone on. He's gotten better and better and starting to look more and more dangerous.
It's a free kick for PJ City, and you can see Bay instantly walking towards it. He is their man when it comes to set piece situation. It's either him or Bharat Kumar.
Well, I didn't predict that Pedro Enrique was going to step up and thunder one in from all of 30 yards, but on this occasion I expect to see Bay swinging this in towards that far post. The in-swinger for me is the most dangerous in this position. Bharat Kumar placing the ball, which may suggest he's going to take it, but I'd like to see that in-swinger in towards the far post. And if nobody gets a touch, quite often it finds its way into the back of the net.
Bay was fourth on the Liga Premier assist charts last season. He bagged 8 assists in the league. I think a vast majority of those was for Kipa Sherman, who has moved on to PKNS. He's got the opportunity to stamp his authority yet again for PJ City here. But it is Bharat Kumar's ball. It's a bit too overhit this time around. Too comfortable for Ashraf Omar there.
Yeah, Bharat Kumar is obviously a capable player, and he looked tidy and composed in the first half, but I really think from those positions, I think Bay is the better option.
Aizol Rizwan launching the ball ahead to clear it away from danger. Throw in for PKNP. Khalidu Yero not able to keep the ball there. Goes out for a PJ City throw in. We've seen Yero grow into the game in the first half, but Thomas Abbey, who started the game rather impressively, hasn't really been involved much. Hafiz Ramdan attempting to beat Asvino, but it's brought down for a free kick for PKNP from dangerous territory.
Yeah, nice bit of play from Hafiz Ramdan. He's more than capable. Obviously trying to get that ball onto his left foot. I think Vinut should have known may have been Barack Kumar as well who gave away that foul. So dangerous position. As you were mentioning, Thomas Abbey started the game very, very well. The first 5 to 10 minutes he was everywhere at both ends of the field and just struggling to get a grasp on this match. That might be down to the fact that Barack Kumar and Esvinod are very, very good defensive players. He might just be struggling to find a bit of space.
Hafiz Ramdan is usually the one taking it from this position, but it seems like Yashe Pinto has got his sights set on this free kick opportunity for PKNP. Not just the right opportunity to put themselves ahead, but also swing momentum in their favor. It is Yashe Pinto is deflected away for a corner kick. Could see what he was trying to do there, Robbie, keeping it low.
He's gone low and hard. It looked like he may have been going to the goalkeeper's side. A touch from Tigaran, just taking it up and over the crossbar. But on a wet surface like this is a difficult one for the keeper if the ball skids off that grass, that wet grass, and we've got PJ City got a corner kick to defend now.
Hafiz Ramdan plays it short towards Izani. It's cleared away by Bay. Hafiz Ramdan from outside the box. What a strike from Hafiz Ramdan! We spoke about his influence for PKNP, and he's turned up with their second goal of the night to give them a 2-1 lead at the MPM Stadium here in Manjung.
Well, the captain coming up with the goods. We spoke about his left foot earlier on. That's a brilliant strike. It's taken a deflection which has lifted it up and over the outstretched left hand of the goalkeeper. But PJ City with all the ascendancy early in the first half, and it's them that find themselves a goal down through that man. Hafiz Ramdan, the captain of PKNP, early in this second half, and it's 2-1 to the hosts.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man. It's a huge boost for PKNP. Even from a mental aspect as well, because while they have not won a match in the Liga Super this year, they've also struggled at home in their last 10 matches in all competitions. Only one win in those last 10 matches. So this, going ahead against PJ City, despite being the second best side in the second half so far, must be a huge, huge boost.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's only early on, but PJ City, as I said, started this half really well. But PKNP are the ones that find themselves in front. It was an opportunity to swing in another corner. And again, they're thinking about it, things they opt to go short, and in the end it falls to Hafiz Ramdan on the edge of the box. Tries his luck, and with the aid of a deflection up and over the keeper. I'm sure they'll be delighted to be 2-1 up so early on in this second half.
K. Devan will want his side to issue an instant response here. But it is a free kick for PKNP. Launched into the box by Philemon. Trying to find Khalidu Yero, but it's cleared away by us. Pinagaran. We've got Hafiz Ramdan here. Being pressed aggressively by Joshua Grom, and it goes out for a corner kick for PKNP.
Now it's PKNP with the ascendancy. This game's had a few momentum shifts in the last 15 or 20 minutes, and it's amazing what a goal can do. When you've got this ascendancy, you really need to try to capitalise on it and get a third if possible. Really try to take this game out of PJ City's hands.
Decent ball into the box, trying to find Khalidu Yero. It's cleared away by Bay. Now Pedro Enrique trying to launch a swift counter-attack for PJ City, but he's pecked back. It's a free kick for PJ City. You can see the scoreline there. PKNP 2-1 up. Hafiz Ramdan with their second goal in the 51st minute. Fadil Idris has also been shown a yellow card for holding Pedro Henrique back there just a couple of moments ago.
A professional foul from Carter Idris, and it looked as though Pedro Henrique was breaking away and possibly going to run the length of the field. So takes one for the team there, yellow card, but it's a smart foul to give away.
Ball remains with PKNP. Got Thomas Abbey charging ahead. Charged down by Bay, who's the next player that gets shown the yellow card here for a foul on Thomas Abbey.
Yeah, almost a repeat of what we just saw going the other way. This time it's Bay who feels like he needs to either win the ball or commit a foul and stop the attack at the PKNP. But good to see Thomas Abbey getting himself on the ball. Second time in a matter of moments. Maybe he's gained a bit of confidence from PKNP taking the lead again.
Teasing ball into the box. Once again, Khalidu Yero falls to the ground, not helping PKNP's attempt from set-piece situations again. Bay plays it towards Pedro Henrique. He's got Giancarlo charging into the box. Aizul Ridwan, smart move to find Pedro Henrique. Flips it towards Rajesh. Trying to cross it. Philemonani does enough to block.
You can see PJ City have upped the urgency. A couple of quick throw-ins, created a decent opening. The ball fell to Vinoot, and just the wrong man in the right wing back, unable to get a decent strike away.
Nagaran, Groman. Elizeu back to Bay. Slightly overhits the pass that was trying to find Aizul Ridwan over there. Throw into PKNP. Robbie, would you say that the PJ City defense has done enough, with the exception of the single goal that Yero scored in the first half? Otherwise, especially in set-piece situations, they seem to be doing well to keep the tall Portuguese striker away.
Yeah, certainly from set pieces they've been able to manhandle Yero, who's gone down a little bit too easily at times. And as you say, they're 2 goals down, and they've only really coughed up one opening, which was the opening goal to Yero. The long-range strike's very difficult to prevent. They might feel that they're a little bit hard done by to be a goal down, but they certainly need to create a little bit more going forward too. This could be playing right into PKNP's hands, the fact that PJ City need to make the play now, and opportunities on the counter-attack might start to present themselves.
Decent ball into the box, trying to find Pedro Henrique. Commits a foul on Ashraf Omar.
A bit of a coming together there, but I think the striker's got every right to go for the ball. A tongue up in the penalty area in the 6-yard box with his team a goal down. He wants to create a contest, and he just arrives a fraction late and gets underneath the keeper's arms. Popped the knock on the head for his troubles as well. Looks as though he might have taken a bit of a knock to the outside of his right leg. Hopefully he'll be okay to continue for PKNP.
2-1 down now. We're approaching the 60th minute mark. Here's a replay again of Hafiz Ramdan's strike. He did back 5 goals in all competitions for PKNP last year, and has already opened his 2019 account in stunning fashion. Now, Robbie, if you're K. David and your PJ City, you're 2-1 down, you've got 30 minutes left on the clock, who do you bring on? Who do you have available on the bench to potentially come and change things around for them?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the bench and it's heavily stacked with defensive sort of quality players, and not too much attacking on the bench. Obviously, Tamil is the only recognised striker on the bench for PJ City, and I'm sure at some stage we're going to see him. If the score is to remain the same, then probably sooner rather than later. Just not sure how much longer you want to wait. Your side's got the ascendancy at the moment. Giancarlo, although he hasn't found the back of the net, has looked the most likely. but it's his strike partner, Pedro Enrique, who found the back of the net from that long-range effort. I think Devon would be... I think he'd be okay with the situation at the moment. Obviously, he wouldn't be happy that they're a goal down, but the way that they're attacking, the way that they've been playing in this opening 15 minutes of the second half, would give him a bit of confidence that they're going to be able to get themselves back into this match.
PKNP and PJ City, who were formerly known as MISC MIFA, faced each other in the final of the FAM Cup in 2016. Back then, MIFA emerged champions with a 3-1 win on aggregate, and both sides were subsequently promoted to the Liga Premier in 2017. And they've come a long way since then. They're both playing each other for the first time in the top flight Malaysian Super League at the moment. It's 2-1 in favor of PKNP. With 30 minutes left on the clock here at the MPM Stadium in Manjung. Bay finds Aizul Rizwan. As Vinod. Again, poor pass preventing the ball from reaching Aizul Rizwan. He's back with Bharat Kumar. Spreads it towards Joshua Groman. Finds P. Rajesh. Under immense pressure from Hafiz Ramdan. He's back with Groman. Bay. Eliziu. Tinagaran, in fact. Now it's with Eliziu, who finds Bay yet again.
Bay picking up the ball a little bit more now in the middle of the park, but it's under pressure on every occasion.
Rajesh trying to cross into the box, blocked by Hafiz Ramdan. Bharat Kumar. PJ City seeing plenty of the ball at the moment, but PKNP are defending in numbers. They've got all their men back in their half. Pedro Enrique there. Bit too much for him with two PKNP defenders ahead. Ball safely collected by Ashraf Omar.
Good spell of possession from PJ City, I'm sure. They'll be hoping to see as much of the ball as possible in this last half an hour. In the end, it was a well-flighted ball up to Giancarlo, who brought his strike partner into the game, which is what I wanted to see a little bit more of in the first half. Those two closer together and linking up, causing a few more problems, asking more questions of the PKNP defence.
We have Giancarlo in a dangerous area. Azrarov did just enough there. Now Khalidu Yero has space, is being closed down by Tinagaran. He's got three PJ City defenders there, but struggles to find his feet, fluffs the attempt. Ball remains with PKNP at the moment. Fadil Idris. Yashe Pinto back to Fadil. Got Philemon Anyus, crosses into the box. Meets the head of Thomas Abbey. Now it's PJ City's turn to launch an attack. Pedro Enrique spreading it towards Bay. He's in a dangerous area on the edge of the box. Bay with a shot. Blocked by Ashraf Omar and then cleared by Shukri Hamid.
A nice counter attack from PJ City. All the players that they want involved. Bay is the man that ends up on the end of things on his left foot. Takes a strike on. Looked as though it was going wide. Keeper parried it, and on the rebound, PJ City win themselves a corner.
Ashraf Omar is down yet again with an injury. They are a difficult side to break down, this PKNP team. I mean, last year in the Malaysia Super League, they finished 9th in a table that contained 12 teams, but they had the 4th best defense, conceding only 31 goals in 22 games. And to give you a bit of context, Perak, who finished 2nd, conceded 27 goals. And that's just 4 less than PKNP, who finished 9th on the table.
Yeah, certainly I think for their first season up in the Super League, it was a fantastic performance. I think securing their position in the league was probably the most important thing, and they did that well. They had a few good wins, but certainly I think they got it right in concentrating on being solid at the back, defensively sound. And now this season, that's something they can try and build on. Keep that as their sort of fulcrum of the team, their defensive stability. And then just try to add a little bit more going forward, see if you can't win a few more games than what they did last year.
It is a corner kick for PJ City. But before that, it's a substitution for PKNP.
Looks like Afandi's going to be replaced.
Fatih Afandi is being replaced by Ibni Kozaimi. He's coming on to make his third appearance of the season for PKNP. Started against Felda United last week. Extremely hard-working, never stops running.
He's a player I like. He impressed me last season, and I'm not surprised to see him getting plenty of minutes at the start of this season.
Oh, it's Bharat Kumar crossing into the box, trying to find Pedro Enrique. PKNP do enough to clear. P. Rajesh commits a foul, barged into a PKNP defender, gets shown the yellow card there.
You see the attempted clearance, just skying the ball. Rajesh coming in hard on Hafiz Ramdan. Just letting PKNP off the hook there. You've got them in their own penalty area defending set pieces and high balls, and you go and give away a free kick, which is just releases all the pressure on them. Able to take their time, catch a breather, and fully expect the keeper to clear the ball long up the field and get themselves up into that attacking third.
They do have a 2-1 lead, but Abu Bakar Fadzim will certainly be concerned with how his side retains their momentum, because even in the first game against Kedah, they played well for much of the first 50 minutes, 50, 60 minutes, but then they conceded 2 goals in the second half to eventually lose the tie. Similarly against Felda United last week, they did go 1-0 ahead through Thomas Abbey in the first half before Hadin Azman pegged them back in the second half. So given the quality that PJ City have, it's certainly a cause for concern. They've got to keep the current momentum going.
Yeah, it's interesting because we know that PKNP are a side that have worked extremely hard on the training park. And it can have 2 effects. You can be an extremely fit side, but if you don't get the balance right and get enough rest before the game, then you can start to fatigue before an end of a match. And certainly they've been fading off. They had a few fade-offs last season as well. But with 23 minutes to go, home match, JDT and Pahang to come in the next 2 games. They really need to give absolutely everything they've got and make sure they hold on to these 3 points.
Got a tie against PKNS at the Shalam Stadium next, but right after that it's 2 back-to-back matches against the 2 most impressive sides in the Malaysia Super League this season, Pahang and Johor Darul Takzim. A 2-1 win here tonight will certainly not just do them plenty of positives in terms of their standings on the table, but also in terms of restoring a bit of confidence into their side ahead of 2 big upcoming games.
I think that's also the reason why we see
Fadil Idris there with an over-ambitious shot from outside the box.
See PKNP making that change a few minutes ago, Kozaimi coming on and adding those fresh legs. We said they've been fading in that last 20 minutes to come. Expect them to be under a little bit of pressure as this match winds down. Some fresh legs in that midfield. Certainly going to add a little bit more to their defensive capabilities.
Monani spreads it towards Azrarov. He's got Shukri, but opts to pass it towards Ashraf Omar instead. Ashraf pumps it forward, trying to find Khalidu Yero. I'm not sure what the statistic is, but if there is a statistic for the amount of headers Yero has won or lost in this game, what would the number look like, Bobby?
It's interesting, isn't it? I think he should have won more than he's won, certainly. I'm not sure about an exact number, but sometimes a player of that height, I've noticed in football at this level, they've gotten away without having to really exert themselves to win a header. Certainly at youth level, and as they develop and they get to this sort of level, sometimes it seems like they're not jumping with their full effort, with their full 100% effort, and just holding a little bit back, and I see that a little bit in his game.
Bit of tension, middle of the park here between both sets of players. You can sense the desire to want to clinch 3 points is intense for both sides. It is a free kick for PJ City. They're launching as many men forward. Eliziu with the long ball, trying to find Giancarlo. PKNP clear. Now it's with Thomas Abbey. Ibn Kuzaimi mistimes his pass. Back with Bay. Giancarlo now. Forced to drop slightly deeper. Grumman. Back to Eliziu. Eliziu finds Pedro Enrique. Intercepted by the PKNP defense. Ibn Kuzaimi loses the ball yet again. Tubey this time around pushes it towards Pedro Enrique. Decent tackle from Azrarov to clear the ball away from danger.
Ibn Kuzaimi losing the ball twice in a row there. I'm sure that's not what the management would have wanted from him coming on. Looking to sort of steady things up, give a little bit more energy in defense and attack. He turned the ball over cheaply twice, and an opportunity for PJ City. You could see his players, his teammates were not happy with his contribution so far and remonstrating with him. Just to switch on, start concentrating, try to limit those mistakes that he's already made since entering the field.
We have about 20 minutes left on the clock here, and it's still PKNP 2, PJ City 1. PKNP player down at the moment as well, seems to have picked up a bit of an injury. Referee's calling for the stretcher. Let's look at when you look at the PKNP bench, they do have options in terms of experience. I mean, the name that immediately pops out is Hafiz Kamal, who famously was an integral part of the Pahang side that won trophies a couple of years back, and then he even played for Selangor as well before moving to Perak and PKNP this season. He could come on and do a job.
Yes, certainly. I mean, his time at Pahang is probably what people remember him for most. His left foot free kicks. I mean, he was one of the best free kick takers in Malaysia. And I played with him twice actually. Played with him at Selangor and at Perak, but unfortunately for him and for Malaysian football, he picked up a knee injury, obviously required an ACL surgery, and just struggled to come back from that injury so far. He was training well with Perak towards the end of the season last year, and he finds himself at PKNP now. And hopefully he can get some minutes and start to build up his match fitness, because if he's fully fit, he's a very, very important player.
Now a corner kick for PJ City. Aizul Ridwan is going to take this one. Actually, it's Bharat Kumar. Huge number of red shirts inside the box for Bharat Kumar to try and find decent cross into the box. And there you have it, Giancarlo with the equalizer for PJ City. Set-piece situations were always going to be dangerous. And Giancarlo, who has grown into this game, scores the equalizer to make it 2-2 for PJ City in Manjung.
Yeah, Giancarlo with a brilliant header at the near post. I mentioned in the first half, PKNP, I'd like to see someone attacking that near post. It's a beautifully flighted in-swinging cross. Gets in front of everyone. I think he gets in front of Yarrow. Manages to knot it in at that near post. It's a great header. He's deserved his goal tonight, and PJ City back on level terms at 2-2. We've got a big 15 minutes coming up in this match. Who can take all 3 points? Wait and see.
A bit too easy there for Giancarlo, perhaps, Robbie. I mean, he was at the near post, but it almost seemed too comfortable on the replay.
Yeah, it didn't look as though he really made much of a run to get across anyone, to beat anyone at that near post. It was almost as though he was standing there and stationary almost, and just jumped straight up in the air. And he did obviously what he needed to do. In that position there, you'd like to see a player in front of him and a player behind him, not to let him get that clear jump. possibly PKNP, a little bit confusion at the back. Not doing enough to stop that simple header.
This is where it gets really dangerous for PKNP now, because they've not only lost their lead, but they've also lost the momentum, which will undoubtedly be with PJ City at the moment. PKNP still working hard, still looking to find a way back into the game. Trying to seize initiative. Nick Uzaimi on the right. Giancarlo dropping back to help the defense as well. Decent ball into the box, cleared away by Eliseu. This time around as Vinod. And it's Hafiz Ramdan from the left. Hits the side netting.
Well, from that angle, it looked as though the ball had gone in. PJ City players remonstrating. I thought they should have had 2 free kicks there. There was a late tackle coming in, we see here. Okay, that one maybe was 50-50. The ball breaks well to Hafiz Ramdan. Got to go low and hard across the keeper there. Went for the near post. He could only find the side netting. PJ City with both of their front men on the score sheet tonight as well. They'll be happy with that. We said earlier that Pedro Enrique was the man with more experience in the Malaysian Super League, so delighted for Giancarlo to get on the score sheet. He's deserved it. We mentioned he's grown into this match. He's looking to get his side a winner now in this final 15 minutes.
It's Pedro Enrique hits the side netting as well. The game is getting stretched a little bit here, Robbie. You can see tired legs on the pitch, but more importantly, you can see the desire from both sides to want to get 3 points tonight.
Yeah, good feet from Pedro Enrique. Tight angle, he decides to take the strike on himself. Chances at both ends now. As you mentioned, it's important for one of these two sides to go and get all 3 points, and you can see from the effort they're putting in, it's a very, very important last 10 or 15 minutes here.
Vinod seeks a free kick. Fadil Idris about to take this one. They're going to make an opportunity out of this.
No surprise we eventually saw a goal from a corner kick. Been a number of corner kicks in this match for both sides, set pieces as well.
And a bit too much height on the pitch for us to not see one from a corner kick as well, Robbie.
There's certainly some big boys out there, isn't there? And one of those men, Giancarlo, getting his head on the ball.
PKNP 5 to 6 white shirts inside the box and just outside the PJ City box as well.
I'm sure Yero will be the target here.
Azarov is there as well, the former Istiklal defender.
Referee having another discussion with the players about the holding. It's probably the 6th or 7th time we've seen that tonight, and I'd like to just see him give a free kick or a penalty if that's the case. Enough talk. You see holding already.
Decent ball into the box, trying to find Yero, but it's cleared away by Tinagaran. Now PJ City look to break. It's Bay on the left. It's pressed heavily by Fadil Idris, but he crosses, blocked by Shukri Hamid.
Opportunity to counter once Bay cut inside onto his right foot. He needed to switch the ball. All the space was out on that right-hand side. There's a couple of PJ City players looking to get forward. Look to play the killer ball, and it was cut out. They're the moments that you just need to keep a level head and realise that there's 10 minutes to play. You don't have to try to force things too much.
As Vinod finds himself in an offside position. The lights have gone off here at the MPM Stadium in Manjung, with just over 11 minutes left on the clock. Both sides tied 2-2 as well. It's not ideal, isn't it?
Well, just as the match was starting to reach a boiling point, both sides looking to push forward, both sides looking to find that winner. Certainly PKNP at home, you'd expect them to be the more desperate of the two sides. PJ City away from home, maybe before the match, may have been happy to take a point, although it is an important game. game really is in the balance for any side to take. Let's hope that they can get these lights on as soon as possible so we can get back to the action. But you know, both sides an opportunity to take a drink. A couple of messages from the manager as well, I'm sure.
After 80 minutes, Robbie, I mean, the score is tied 2-all. We've seen both sides carve out decent chances. But if the match were to end here at this point in time and the score is tied 2-all, who do you think would be the happier manager?
Yeah, I mean, I think both managers would love to be playing out this last 10 minutes because they both feel they've probably got an opportunity to take all 3 points and kickstart their season 4 points from the opening 3 matches. Wouldn't be too bad for these two sides. I'd say Devon would be the happier of the two managers if they were to share the spoils and collect a point each.
The match has been temporarily suspended here at the MPM Stadium in Manjung, while the match commissioner and the relevant authorities at the stadium try to figure out a solution to the problems with the floodlights. But as it stands with 10 minutes left on the clock, it's still PKNP 2, PJ City 2. Khalidou Yero gave PKNP a 1-0 lead after midway through the first half with his first goal for the club, before Pedro Henrique restored parity with a stunning free kick just before halftime. And PJ City came on in the second half and carried on from where they left off by dominating in the first 7 minutes or so, but against the run of play, PKNP were able to put themselves 2-1 ahead. Hafiz Ramdan, who scored 5 goals in all competitions for PKNP last year, bagging his first goal of the season for PKNP. But PJ City never gave up. They kept pushing and they were eventually rewarded for their efforts, particularly through Giancarlo, who scored from a header at the near post to make it 2-all at the MPM Stadium here in Manjung. It's been a competitive affair. Both sides have carved out key chances. A lot of tackles have took place in the middle of the park as well. Yellow cards have been brandished. We've got some highlights from the first 30 minutes of the game here so far. Robbie, talk us through the action.
Yeah, this was early on. PKNP looking to get in behind the wing backs of PJ City, and a half chance there. Free kicks and corners have been the feature of this match. So many set pieces. We see Thomas Abbey getting his head on another one. He started the match very, very well, Abbey, but he's just faded and rarely sighted throughout this second half. The opposite for this man, Giancarlo, who's grown into the game. But this was the opening goal. Fado Idris with a through ball to Yero gets his season off the mark with his first goal for the club. He's been under pressure, but he finished that ball off really, really well. Giancarlo again using his height and his strength in the area, bringing that one down. Well saved, and Bay on the rebound, unable to beat the desperation of the PKNP defence. There was very few other openings until this moment in injury time in the first half. Pedro Henrique with a blistering strike from long range in off the inside of the upright that gave his side the momentum going into the second half. Almost another spectacular goal from Giancarlo, chesting that one down in a bicycle kick. Yashir Pinto tried his luck from range as well. That one deflected up and over. And it was Hafiz Ramdan, the captain from PKNP, with a long-range strike deflected up and over the outstretched hand of the goalkeeper. And at this stage, at 2-1 up, PKNP would have felt they were looking good for the 3 points. Bay again involved. He was the one that was creating a lot, and then it was Giancarlo a little bit later after that with a set piece. A corner from the near post, sorry, a header from the corner at the near post, which leaves us with scores locked at 2-2 in the 80th minute. Before we lost a bit of floodlights here at the MPM Stadium.
Which player, Robbie, would you think has impressed you so far in the first 80 minutes of the game? I mean, we've got Giancarlo, who obviously not just scored the equalizer, but attempted the audacious bicycle kick as well. And then you've got Pedro Henrique, who scored from long range. You've got all these attackers who have given us goals today. But then you've also got the defenders, the likes of Joshua Grumman and Elizio, who have been able to keep a close eye on a Khalidou Yero. Who's your pick, Robbie, for the one that has really stood out so far?
Yeah, well, there has been a lack of clear-cut chances other than set pieces, as we've mentioned many a time. So you know, you'd have to say that the defenders have been doing quite a good job. I think the defense of PJ City has probably been slightly better. They've been able to keep Yero quiet. Eliseu, as you mentioned, has been solid back there, winning a lot of aerial duels. But I think the way that Giancarlo's grown into this match, got his side back level with a very, very important goal. I think he's just shading things at the moment. As a former centre half, I'd like to give the man of the match to a defender, but for me, Giancarlo's you know, one that's impressed me certainly as the match has worn on.
Giancarlo obviously opening his account for PJ City. He scored his first goal while his strike partner Pedro Henrique has backed 2 now from their first 3 games, and this will be the area of interest for K. Daven in particular. He knows that his side did well in the Premier League last year because they had competitive and compelling strikers up front, not just in the form of Kepa Sherman, but also Elimam Saidi, who was on loan from Kelantan. Now, with both men out of the picture, they definitely need Pedro Henrique and Giancarlo to be firing. That's exactly what we've seen from the first 3 games so far. Both men are already on the score sheet. The match is still temporarily suspended. We're waiting updates from the match commissioner in Manjung. Things seem to be picking up in Manjung. The lights are slowly coming back. Hopefully we'll get some good news really soon.
It's always difficult for the players, these situations. It's not something that I experienced in my time, but certainly you know, you don't want to be having a delay of this length late on in a match. Obviously you've been standing around now for 5 to 10 minutes, and you know, your muscles are getting cold when they're already under a lot of fatigue. Certainly mentally as well, to stay switched on and concentrated, not get distracted by these sorts of interruptions. And maybe the side that's dealt with this short break and this disruption the better might be the one that's able to go on and win the game here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a chance come quite early after we return to action, hopefully very, very shortly.
Things seem to be picking up really well in Manjung. Game is about to resume here. The linesmen are taking their positions again. This will feel like a real proper final. 10 minutes worth of time for either side to find a winner. It's still locked 2-2.
Well, after that delay, both sides getting a bit of a breather, able to catch their breath a little bit, an opportunity to get a drink, and as I said, a couple of messages from the managers. We thought Devon might be the happier of the 2 coaches to finish with a point, but he was the one that was really remonstrating with the match commissioner and the referee. So he's really thinking that his side can go and get all 3 points here, I feel.
A win would allow PJ City to make history here. It'll be their first ever Malaysia Super League win. More importantly, it'll also give them the necessary confidence and put the entire team in the right headspace, heading into what will undoubtedly be a grueling Malaysian Super League campaign. PKNP survived it in stunning fashion last year, finishing 9th in their debut season. Pretty sure K. Daven will be happy with that, but at the moment they've got a set-piece situation to defend. You can see Thomas Abbey standing just right outside the box. Khalidu Yero is already inside the box as well. Decent ball, trying to find Khalidu Yero. Blocked by Tinagaran. Remains with Ibni Kozaimi, who's on the left. Fluffs the pass. Finds Philemon Anyi. The ball goes out for a goal kick.
I'm not sure if it was Elazur or Tigarian with the header there, but it was a brilliant defensive header. Got himself in the right place at the right time. It was a well-flighted cross into a dangerous position, but he cleared it well. The PJ City midfielders, in particular Vinud, was able to put enough pressure They're able to get themselves a goal kick and relieve the pressure and try to get themselves up the field and on the front foot.
Goal kick, ball is launched right into the middle of the park, trying to find Giancarlo. PKNP do enough to clear it towards Yashe Pinto. Now it's Thomas Abbey in possession, finds Yashe Pinto. Pinto trying his luck from outside the box. Blocked by Eliseu, who intercepts the ball for the second time from Thomas Abbey. Now it's PJ City. Giancarlo is on the left. He's got Pedro Henrique charging ahead on the right. Ball is with Bharat Kumar! Stunning strike from Bharat Kumar to put PJ City 3-2 in the lead. What a goal, Robbie Colquitt. We've seen some stunning strikes in this game, but that is surely the best so far.
We certainly have. He had a brilliant first touch, got it out of his feet, had a man over on the right-hand side, but he was not interested. One thing in his mind, put his foot straight through the ball and up into the top left-hand corner. Brilliant strike from Bharat Kumar, capped off a brilliant game for him so far. And you can see what it means to him and his side. 3-2, I said I wouldn't be surprised if a chance came early after the break. Quite often it's difficult to switch on after a delay like that. PJ City come from behind twice in this game and they lead 3-2 with just under 10 minutes to play.
Audacious, ambitious, say what you want, call what you want, label it however you want, but you need an exceptional amount of confidence to attempt that shot. Bharat Kumar had it and is reaping the benefits of it. PJ City are 3-2 up now with about 6 minutes left on the clock for PKNP to find a way back into this game. Ibn Kuzaimi is brought down. It's a free kick for PKNP. You can sense the shift in body language amongst the PJ City players. They've really fought hard for this one.
They certainly have, as I said, come from behind twice. Last week they were a goal to the good in the dying stages and they dropped 2 points. So hopefully they've learned from that experience and they're desperate enough and smart enough, concentrating. They've defended these free kicks and set pieces very, very well tonight and they need to do that again now.
Some ball into the box, trying to find Fadil Idris, Ashrarov in fact. Slightly overhit, picked up by Muhaimin.
Muhaimin maybe just feeling that injury that he picked up
First up
in the opening few minutes of the game where he punched the ball. We see this strike again from Bharat Kumar. Gives it absolutely everything. The ball's still rising as it hits the back of the net and the goalkeeper's got absolutely no chance. A strike of the highest quality. A strike worthy of winning a game. Should have remained the same for the final 5 minutes of this game.
Tensions are beginning to flare up on the pitch. You can see that the PKNP players want the game to resume as soon as possible. They know that their time is running up. It's 5 minutes left in regulation time, plus there'll probably be a couple of minutes of injury time as well. This will be a huge blow, not just to their start to the 2019 Unified Liga Super season, but also their overall statistic in terms of their performances at home. They've only won one of their last 10 matches at home, and this would stretch it to 11.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? I mean, they played a lot of their games last year in Penang, I believe, if I remember correctly, and a couple as well in Ipoh. So a third stadium, I suppose, now as a home ground. So it's quite difficult when you're moving around that much. But this extends their winless run as well, which I think you said stretches back to August in the Malaysian Cup, I believe.
Yeah, their last win was a Malaysia Cup victory back in August 2018.
3-0 was it against Selangor?
3-0 against Selangor. Yeah, it was that upset at the Shah Alam Stadium.
I wasn't too happy about that one.
Cleared away by Eliseu. Still in a dangerous area. Khalidu Yero here winning the header, trying to find Thomas Ebe. Ibn Kuzaimi's shot blocked by the PJ City defense. PKNP remain in possession. It's a poor attempt from Ibn Kuzaimi.
This is the balance and the challenge for PKNP. We spoke about how defensive they've been in the past and how structured they are when they are defending, and they've, they had the 4th best defense, as you mentioned, Kish, in the Super League last year. But tonight, when they've looked to open up a little bit and get on the front foot, they've conceded 3 goals. So it's a fine line for them in determining how they want to play matches. And when they do get forward, having enough cover at the back not to be able to cough up the lead twice as they have done tonight at home.
You said something interesting at halftime, Robbie. I mean, part of the reason why PKNP were able to have a decent defensive record in the Super League last year was the presence of the Latvian defender, Rytis Kroklis. He's obviously no longer there. And while Azrarov is a defender that comes in with a lot of reputation, high pedigree, but Rytis was the guy for them last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was impressed with Rytis. I thought he was very, very solid. He got forward and scored a few goals as well, which is always a bonus for a central defender. But, I just thought he was a player that really gave his all, and he was a quality defender. He was very, very solid at the back, but unfortunately he's not there this season.
PKNP look to break away again. The ball is given away way too easily. They're desperate. They want to charge ahead.
Yeah, they do. Pedro Enrique went down there in an absolute heap as that ball was knocked long. And he got up and remonstrated straight away. There's a few tensions now. I think partly because of this incident, but also because of the scoreline. He's not happy about something that's gone on. His teammates just trying to calm him down, which is the right thing to do. 3-2 up with a couple of minutes to go. The last thing you want is a man sent off. Certainly a man of his height who can help you defend set pieces as well, but he's not happy. You see Giancarlo there just telling him, keep you cool. The best revenge is going to be to take all 3 points.
And they're so close to doing it. We're approaching the 89th minute mark here. And there you have it, Pedro Enrique goes down. Time wasting tactic, Robbie?
He's claiming he's taken a bit of a knock there and saying maybe he's got blurred vision. It's hard to tell from this distance exactly what's gone on, but this is the strike again. I mean, this goal is worthy of winning any game. Absolutely brilliant from Bharat Kumar. He's had a wonderful match and he's been solid in the middle of that park. I've been impressed with his composure and his decision making on the ball, and he certainly made the right decision there, didn't he?
The moment he took the ball, you could see that it's exactly what he wanted to do. He wasn't looking anywhere else. He wasn't looking for options. He just moved the ball forward a couple of times and just unleashed a strike that left the goalkeeper completely helpless.
I mean, you can't score a goal like that if you're in two minds. If you're thinking, oh, should I pass, should I shoot? In the end, you probably end up just putting the ball over the top of the crossbar. And initially, when the ball came to him on the top of the box, I thought there was a player over wide, and I thought he might take a touch and look to slip him in, but he only had one thing on his mind. It was a brilliant goal. Absolutely world-class strike. A couple of minutes away from history now. PJ City, first win in the top flight, away from home. I mean, wow, that would be something special, wouldn't it?
It would really kickstart their season as well for K-David now that they've got their first set of 3 points under the belt. They can look to the upcoming fixtures with plenty of confidence. They've got pretty big games coming up as well for PJ City. Next up, they will travel to... in fact, they play at home against Kedah, which is a pretty big game before they face Felda United and then Perak in Ipoh. So they've got not just big games, but judging by their performance tonight and the quality that they've shown, you would say winnable games as well coming up.
I mean that's a big statement. Kedah 4-0 winners tonight, I believe. On top of the table, I think, even top. Difficult game. They're at home. I'm sure they'll be looking at that game and thinking they can get something from it. You have to think that about every match, of course. They've certainly gained a lot of confidence from this match tonight, scoring 3 goals. But I think that is going to be a difficult game against Kedah, and after that, as you mentioned, there's a couple of games there they'll be earmarking for 3 points if if they can get something out of next week and keep their confidence high.
You know, 4 minutes of additional time here. We've played about a minute of it. Dinagaran pulling the ball away from danger. Bharat Kumar. PKNP are pushing numbers forward. Time is running out. Hafiz Ramdan plays it to Fadil Idris under pressure from Bharat Kumar. Now is Shukri. Launches the ball forward, trying to find Khalidu Yero.
In the story of the last few minutes, long looking for Yero. Aimless passing, really. I mean, it's very difficult for him as a striker to be able to do something with a ball like that. We've seen that on a couple of occasions now. It looks like PKNP have just run out of ideas and just looking to go long on every occasion.
Shukri. Yashe Pinto, now it's Khalidu Yero here. He was offside, but
I mean, you have to say it's a brilliant save.
it was a brilliant save.
I mean, it looked very, very tight. You see the arm of, I think it's Joshua Gromit, go up straight away there. He was almost certain. It was a fine save down to his left-hand side. Uhaimin, sorry. He's had his injury troubles in this match. You see him falling over the trainer again. Strong left hand there, denying Kalu Yero. The flag was up in any case.
Aizul Rizwan is being stretched out here. He's worked really, really hard as a fullback, but also one that not just needed to attack, but also drop back and help back the three-man defense.
Yes, certainly. He's been one of the hard workers for the side, and that's the key. PJ City tonight, away from home, you've got to have, you've got to give absolutely everything. You've got to roll your sleeves up at times, and he's got forward on occasions and got back as well. So, he'll be hoping his side can hold on to all 3 points now that he's gone off for a bit of treatment.
He's an example of another decent investment from the PJ City side this year. Played for Negeri Sembilan in the Liga Super, and as soon as they secured promotion, he was one of the first few players that PJ City were able to bring in to bolster their squad for their debut Malaysian Super League season. Pedro Enrique from dangerous territory, but he's looking for nothing more but to run the clock down. Rash challenge from Ibni Kuzaibi there, shown the yellow card.
Ball's at the wrong end now for PKNP. Stoppage time or the added time, 4 minutes allotted, it's already up. The free kick now in the attacking half of PJ City. You wouldn't think that PKNP are going to be able to get anything from this match. Expect this one to be played short. Giancarlo or possibly Pedro Enrique just take this one to the corner flag and waste as much time as possible.
Gone past the allocated 4 minutes of injury time as well. It's really close for PJ City now. They're just moments away from a historic first ever Malaysian Super League victory, and one that they had to really battle hard for, coming from behind twice before getting the lead against PKNP at the MPM Stadium here in Manjung. PKNP putting 3 men in the wall, but you suspect that PJ City are not looking to float the ball above the wall at this point. Probably just going to play it short. That's exactly what they do with Giancarlo, trying to hold the ball there. Goes out for a PKNP throw-in. Final few seconds left in the match.
Interesting there, I think he's deliberately thrown the ball into Giancarlo from all of 30 centimetres and picked himself up a yellow card.
One of the strangest yellow cards I've seen. To throw in. And there you have it. The referee has blown the final whistle after a dramatic encounter between PKNP and PJ City here in Manjung. PKNP starting the game strong. Khalidu Yero putting them ahead before PJ City equalized through Pedro Henrique. Hafiz Ramdan then put them ahead, but Giancarlo Lopez was able to equalize before Bharat Kumar's stunning